In this video, we'll discuss functions in MATLAB. By the end of this video, we should be able to define functions, how functions differ from MATLAB scripts, how can be they declared and defined, and how can be functions invoked. So what is a function? When we want to reuse a sequence of MATLAB commands again and again, we can put that sequence of commands in a MATLAB function. MATLAB functions differ from MATLAB scripts in the sense that we can pass inputs to the MATLAB function and we can return values from the MATLAB function. One important thing to remember here is that we can return multiple values from MATLAB functions, not just single value as well. Now, what is the basic syntax of writing a function or declaring a? Here it is. First we have the function keyword, then in square brackets we can have the return argument, return parameters, followed by equal to sign, and then the name of the function. myFun is the name of function, and then within brackets we have the arguments, input arguments to the function. Both functions as well as MATLAB scripts are basically M files. One essential difference between them is that MATLAB functions have their own workspace. They don't share their workspace with other components of the program. That actually enables us to avoid a lot of tricky situations that can take place when we have a common workspace. Let's have a simple example on functions. A function is again written in an M file like in a MATLAB script. We will invoke editor window by typing in command edit. And once we are in the editor window, the first letter we will type in is function, and then within square brackets we'll have the output parameter of the function. Let's name that as summation, then equal to, then we'll have the name of the function. Let's suppose that this function computes summation of two numbers num1 and num2 and returns the sum. So let's name this function as add2, then the two input parameters, let's name them as num1 and 2. Then we can have the body of the function. Let us first write what this function is doing. This function computes the summation of input argument. It's good practice to write at the top what the function is doing. Now the only thing we have to do in this function is that we have to return the sum of two numbers num1 and num2. So we will assign the sum of num1 and num2 our return parameter, that is summation, equal to 1 plus 2. That's it. One only thing remaining is we have to type in end keyword, mark the end of this function. Now we'll save it, Control S. An important thing to note here is that we must name this M file. The name of the M file should be same as that of the function. We have named our function as add2. We'll name this MATLAB M file as add2 as well, because we have to invoke it using the name of the M file itself. We'll save it. Now let's go to our editor window and invoke this function. For invoking this function, we have to just type in name of the function is same as the name of the M file in which declared. Let us supply two parameters 12 and 14. So this is our result. We can as well have we can put in the return value into some variable, like for example n equal to add 2. Let's suppose we'll supply different parameters this time, and then 2 and 9, and whatever this function add 2 is returning, we are uh, assigning that to a variable n. Hit the enter. This is how we invoked the function add2 and assigned the return value to a variable. This was a simple example on function. Now let's see another example on functions. This time we will return more than one value from a function. Let's suppose that we want to calculate mean and standard deviation of a vector. We have already created a vector here x, and we have initialized it to values 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. We have written a script for this, mean st. So here in this script, one thing to note is that because we have to return more than one value, we are writing those two values, output parameters m and s, and it's taking as input the vector x. We are calculating the length of this vector. It will be, for this x there are 5 elements, so n will become 5. Next we are calculating the mean of this vector by calculating sum of x, dividing it by the length of the vector. So this is how we got the mean. Now for calculating standard deviation, we are taking an square root of summation of xi minus m divided by n. So because we have to calculate x minus m for each xi, we are using dot caret symbol. When we use dot caret, it calculates power for each element. So it's dot caret is used for calculating element wise power. So how to invoke this script? We will go to the command window, and for calculating, one thing we have to, for invoking this function which is returning more than one value, so we have to take those values into again two variables, for example m and mean and standard deviation. Then name of the function was mean st. Then we will supply it input argument. Input argument is this vector. Here we got the values mean and standard deviation. This is how we can return more than one value from a MATLAB function.